Friends, tomorrow we will be celebrating the 41st anniversary of our independence. On this auspicious occasion, I extend my warm felicitation to all Indian nationals residing within and outside the country.
All India Radio
August 15 is a date with emotional appeal. It reverberates with echoes of the immortal slogans of our freedom struggle. The celebrated call of Mahatma Gandhi, do or die. The declaration of Lokmanya Tilak, Swaraj is our birthright. The song of Subramanya Bharati, Vidudalai, Vidudalai, and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, vibrant order of the day, Delhi Chalo. Above all, August 15th brings to my mind the image of Jawaharlal Nehru with his radiant enthusiasm for our future, hoisting the national flag on the ramparts of the Red Fort. We are also reminded today of the song of the flag that was sung throughout the country during our long and arduous struggle. Vijayi Vishwadi Ranga Pyara, Janda Uncha Rahe Hamara. Let us this day pay our reverential homage to the heroic leaders who fought under that banner. Let us also pay our homage to the countless foot soldiers of the struggle who fought in its various phases, sacrificing their homes, studies, and jobs for the sole satisfaction of achieving Swaraj. Gandhiji once said, the word Swaraj is a sacred word, a Vedic word, meaning self-rule and self-restraint, and not freedom from restraint, which independence often means. As we look back over the 4 decades of Swaraj, we can derive legitimate pride over the fact that self-rule has come to be truly and firmly established in our country. The democratic form of governance, which is based on the principle of self-restraint, has taken firm and unshakable roots in our soil. 8 general elections have been held in the country since independence, apart from numerous other elections to the state legislatures and individual by-elections. All these have shown the maturity and the decisiveness of the Indian electorate. The Indian voter has indeed become conscious of his political rights, and though he may be unlettered and wearing humblest clothes, he is using the electoral process skillfully for democratic self-expression. A polity has thus come into being in India, which represents and reflects Indian opinion in all its vibrant diversity. The tree of Indian democracy is today strong of root and large of girth, but like all trees, this one also attracts the illicit woodcutter's eye. I refer to certain elements in our society which, for their selfish and narrow ends, seek to undercut and undermine the electoral process. No words can be too strong to condemn the saboteurs of parliamentary democracy in our country. To interfere with and thereby seek to thwart the mechanism of the ballot is to lay an axe at the very foundations of our polity. Political parties, whether ruling or in opposition, have a grave responsibility for ensuring fair and free elections. I would appeal to all parties to remember Gandhiji's words about the twin ingredients of Swaraj, namely self-rule and self-restraint. Let all political parties and groups make sure that no one acting in their name takes liberties with election procedures. Election ethics are not a matter of procedure alone. They are the veritable life breath of the political system which our people have given unto themselves. Free and fair elections are the fountainheads of democracy. Let not the source be sullied. In this, all political parties and groups, as well as administrators and the police in charge of election arrangements, will have to regard themselves as trustees of the voters' sovereignty. They will have to act with integrity and impartiality. I would also like to share with fellow citizens today my fervent hope that the elected representatives of our people will also so act as to justify the trust reposed in them. I am reminded on this occasion of a statement made by Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan on the day he assumed the office of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. A democracy is likely to degenerate into a tyranny if it does not allow the opposition groups to criticize fairly, freely, and frankly the policies of the government. But at the same time, the right of criticism should not degenerate into willful hampering and obstruction of the work of the Parliament. These words of our sagacious former President, whose birth centenary falls this year, deserve our deepest attention. The functioning of our legislature ought to be a source of inspiration and encouragement to our people in the face of many challenges. Friends, you are aware the rhythms of normal activity in some parts of the country have been repeatedly disrupted by terrorist attacks which leave a trail of innocent blood. Simple men and women and children who have nothing to do with politics, much less with the politics of extremism, are the victims of these attacks. The killing in Punjab of those who have spoken for communal harmony and the unity of our country has caused the greatest anguish to me. Government is of course addressing itself to the task of meeting the terrorist challenge at many levels. But violence cannot be met or countered by any quarter other than by the people themselves refusing to be cowed down into fear or hatred. I would also urge our people to continue to hold fast to the values of tolerance, friendship, and amity that have marked our national life down the ages. Let communal hatreds, which are aberrations of our national life, belong to the past, and may peace prevail in the country. The outlook for world peace in the meantime has taken a positive turn. In the areas of disarmament, the exchange of instruments of ratification of the INF Treaty at Moscow Summit has been a welcome development. There is a growing realization by all the peoples and almost all the governments of the world of the urgent need to rid the world of nuclear weapons. It is to further this objective that India proposed a time-bound action plan for ushering in a nuclear weapon-free and non-violent world order at the recently held third special session of the United Nations General Assembly devoted to disarmament. The action plan gives operational form to the principles and ideas of the Five-Continent Peace Initiative and the Non-Aligned Movement. The plan underscores our belief that non-violence and principles of peaceful coexistence are crucial to the world and particularly to the developing countries. Our country cannot afford to divert its energies from the task of development. Last year, when I addressed you on the eve of Independence Day, the nation was in the grip of a serious drought. The rains had failed in large parts of the country for 3 years in a row. It is gratifying that notwithstanding that lean period and a resultant decline in food production, our strong buffer stock and efficient public distribution system absorbed the shock. We are happy that despite the severe drought, the food production was lower only by less than 5% as compared with the previous year. Likewise, despite the setback caused by drought, the industrial sector achieved a growth of about 8%, and our overall power generation increased by 7.5% over the previous year. This year, the monsoons have been favorable. I am confident that widespread and copious rains will restore the pace of progress in all sectors. While the overall position in respect of monsoon is heartening, the havoc caused by floods in Assam, Bihar, UP, and Gujarat have distressed us deeply. They point once more to the need for a long-term plan dealing with such natural calamities. Be it disaster relief or disaster avoidance, or be it any other area of activity, The agencies of the state and the people must pool their resources and work together. Nationhood consists of a partnership between the people of the country and its government. This partnership cannot function without both proceeding in unison.
This is All
Let us
India
then
Radio
march shoulder
Archives
to shoulder
recording.
and hand in hand towards the fulfillment of our Swaraj through self-rule and self-restraint. I'll conclude with a stanza composed by Namakkal Ramalingam Pillai, the illustrious Tamil poet whose birth centenary falls this year. Gandhiyai marandidamal, never forgetting Gandhi. Karunayai துறந்திடாமல், never abandoning compassion. சாந்தியிற் குறைந்திடாமல், சத்தியம் எரிந்திடாமல், never deviating from the path of truth and peace. மாந்தருக்கு அறிவு காட்டும் மாபெரும் ஜோதியாக நேர்ந்துள்ள நமது நாட்டின் சுதந்திரம் நிலைக்க வேண்டும். Let our free country be a beacon light unto all mankind. Jai Hind.